Well, greetings everybody. It's Christmas Day, so happy Christmas. And I thought I'll do a video Christmas Day because once you've watched The Queen and watched Radio Cruncher, you'll all be sat bored. And instead of watching The Sound of Music on television, get rid of your television and you can watch me instead. I've not had a television since 1990 something or other. In the UK, you have a television licence, which is authority to receive, and it is something like £148 a year. And considering where I live in the middle of nowhere, the only way you could have television is by satellite, and then you have to pay fees for that as well. So, and it's a load of rubbish. I get fed up with the recap things because you see these people's houses, and what we were doing, we were just doing this, that, and the other. And then they move forward 3 minutes, and after a million advertisements, what we were doing is this, that, and the other. And you think, hang on a minute, we know you were. Anyway, today we're going to do a CPT base station, which is the Satcom 4000. And I'm going to do something I've never done before. It's going on eBay when we've done, because we already have one of these. And this one's nicer than ours. It's well, subject to me getting it to work anyway. When I bought this, I promised it was not working. And the first thing I look at is the mains plug, which will be changed for one with shrouded pins. It has a 13 amp fuse in it, which doesn't really give any protection whatsoever, does it? Because we need to have a 3 amp fuse in a product like this. So that will be rectified before we sell it. So it's going to be an eBay item. And we don't fund this video by selling CB radios. We fund this video by working on business two-way radio for commerce and with our church pipe organ restoration business. And this will be the first time ever I've sold a CB on eBay, and I'll put 1 or 2 Christmas gifts. And the only relative I've got is a sister, and we always send a bit of silliness, and that's fine. But I get 1 or 2 things from church as an extra thank you. But during this lockdown period, we've done 1 or 2 end user jobs because we normally are totally trade only, just business customers. And I opened a box, and lo and behold, I found this rather nice gift of chocolates and biscuits and some rather nice drinks. So we're going to thank the person very much indeed. We did a Murphy CBH 1500 base station for an end user, which was of sentimental value to him, and that has come from him, and that's most appreciated. Thank you. The other thing to mention, we get Christmas cards. You get Christmas cards, and this one's come from Moonraker. Oh, good. Thank you very much, Moonraker. This makes me smile. Oh, no, I'll go on to this one. Now, one of the subscribers has very, very kindly, Patrick, has very, very kindly sent me this box, and in this box is a broken Kerno Beta 4100. We were short of a knob for one set, and he says we can always use that for just a knob because it's been underwater, and he says you can see the tide mark inside. Now I think we can get Mr. Chippy to strip this down, because it'll be taking the front panel off the bottom panel, running it through our ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll see whether we can fix that. We could do a video for an underwater diver recovered CB radio repair. So thank you very much indeed for that, Patrick. I've got a nice letter to go with that. So I'll put that on one side. See a forthcoming attraction. Then finally, on the box unwrapping, this came from one of the churches I work at as a church organist. And you might get the odd box of biscuits. But this box of biscuits, comes in a ground plane kit, doesn't it? Because that's a tin. And we all know what you can do with biscuit tins when you've eaten the contents. I'll be even fatter next year. I won't be able to get in the chair. Right, so we'll get on with the radio. So, thank you, Wilsford Church. And Wilsford Church, here's the link, is the church at Scratchy Corner. Wilsford is the village at Scratchy Corner. And St Mary's Church at Wilsford is one of the churches I play the pipe organ at. Well, when we haven't got a lockdown, that is. I've just done 2 services over the last 2 days via Zoom from our organ workshop, playing a finished organ we have in there. The one I've probably shown before. I know I've shown before. So we'll open this radio up, we'll see whether there's any works or whether it's being converted into something else, which unfortunately can happen, and I know has happened with some of the other Satcom 4000s that we have somewhere. This was chosen at random. We have a number of these in stock, and that's why I'm happy to get rid of one. I want to keep the one we've already got. I had to change the display, which is green, for a red one because I could not get a green display of the type. So our rubbishy display one, oh my goodness, yeah, oh dear, yeah, it's been turned into something else. Yeah, right, well, we can all see some subboard there, oh dear. And so what we're going to do, I've been saying we've got an old van I bought during this course of the year, which we've been kitting out as a mobile control room, and I'm going to put, we've got a spare Harrier base station, like we have, we do the on the air things when I show you what it sounds like, and we've got a spare, I'll start again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Satcom, which we already have with its muddy red display through a green filter in our van as a working test set. I'm going to put another Satcom I've got in place of that Uniden which we do the tests with, the CEPT Uniden, and then that leaves us at least one surplus one. The loudspeaker points downwards. How bizarre is that? Okay, well, I'm going to have to get busy with the soldering iron because it's got an illegal modification, and somebody's made the set have UK and EU channels, and they put a button on there which is, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it certainly can't be CEPT EU because the set is MPT 1333 and it may not contain other channels. So by law that has to be removed. So we're going to get on with that. I'll take the bottom off and then we'll turn back into a CPT only set, which is how it should be, however useless that is. I don't know whether people realise that you can't do these modifications or what, and I can't actually see the point myself. If you want a UK base station, buy a UK base station. I know it's difficult to get an 80 channel one. I know there was only the Team one ever on the market. Oh my goodness, isn't that awful? Yeah, right, well, we'll soon have that out. So I'll pause the video while I get the soldering iron busy. So having removed all that junk out of the radio which shouldn't be there, I've unsoldered the area where the synthesizer IC should be. What they've done is to put a Sanuel C71360 in, which is for UK channels, and then they've put a bodge board in and a chip which does European channels. But that isn't what originally should be in. It should be an LC7131. Luckily we've got half a circuit diagram, and we've got other sets. And what I've done is to borrow this out of another set. This obviously it's Christmas Day. I can't order today, so I have ordered, and we'll rectify the borrowed part, no doubt in a few days when it arrives. So I'm going to solder that in, and we'll have to find out where these wires go, won't we? Okay, so I've got receive straight away when I've powered it up. I'm also greeted, unfortunately, with a blue meter. That needs rectifying. I haven't got any alignment instructions, so what we're going to do is we need to set the VCO. Oops, that's the wrong speed of zoom. So test point 1, we've got the synthesizer chip there, the reference crystal there, so that's going to be the VCO. So if I select channel 40, and set the VCO for around 4 volts. Especially if I can hold everything at the same time. That's usually logic high for this kind of thing. And then select channel 1. Check it again. Ah, we've got transmit. 26965. See if we've got transmit on channel 20 now. Certainly got receive. No, I've not got transmit on channel 20. So does it want to be a bit lower? Or is there another issue? Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Easiest thing to do, I'll put it on channel 10, and we'll do a rough alignment on channel 10, and then we'll come back. It's not that the VCO isn't locking now, it's that the rest of it's not lined up properly. So, I could look at my Satcom notes, couldn't I? But I think we'll just play this by ear. I'll switch picture in picture, and then you can see the meter. So we're on the 3 watt range. That's the low power, that's high power. So let's just peek what we've got. So what are we doing now? We are doing 1/2 watt. Isn't that exciting? I love how they turn a reasonable set into a rubbish set. That might be enough for us now to have something on a higher channel. Yeah, we're just transmitting now, as you can see, on channel 20. So we'll go through that again. Okay, so we've got to a situation where we're still not doing anything like enough power. So, I'm just going to... One thing I should have checked right at the beginning is, what's the power supply actually giving out? So, we'll just look into that. Yeah, 12.98 is not absolutely brilliant, and I don't think this is going to be adjustable. So, I'll look at my half circuit diagram, which I do at least have the power supply on, and we'll see if there's any reason why that is. Otherwise we're going to have to start changing parts in the transmitter. So I've checked that the power control is at full, which is that one. We've gone through that, I'm going to check with my Satcom notes to make sure there's nothing I've missed, but at the end of the day it's just doing less than 2 watts, which isn't acceptable. We can have it on low power, in which case it's doing what? Yeah, it doesn't make much difference. So we'll come back to it. At least it seems to be receiving alright. That's 0.3 of a microvolt. I'll tell you what we can do while we're on record, and then it's one task out of the way, and that's stick the radio on frequency. So we'll do 27205, and as you can see we're on 2720597. It's in spec, but it's not ideal, so it's a bit high. There we go, just slightly high because they do drop down with age. The fact it was that high, of course, they've set that as a compromise to get the 2 sets of channels somewhere near. So we'll come back to it. At least to say that's one tiny task done. And the thing I haven't shown you is the fact the damn thing's up blue, and that is absolutely to me. Right, so I don't know where we got to with the video, but I've had to give up with that set, and I've dug out a different one. Sometimes, I mean, we'll have a look further into that in the future, but I wanted to get this video out today. So what we'll do is we'll start this one, which hasn't been, hopefully, messed about with. For a start, it lights up properly and not with a daft blue LED. So hopefully this one is going to be doable. We find a lot of these which have had illegal modifications, you know, that's kind of the kiss of death for them. Yes, this one looks pretty how you'd expect. Amazingly, it's a bit shorter on this one. It's been changed for a 3-core mains lead, which actually looks, I say changed for, but it's actually factory original. I can understand them doing a 2-core mains lead because theoretically it's double insulated because of the transformer. But on the other hand, yeah, I don't think it's ideal having a 2-core mains lead. So this one is a 3-core mains lead, so this is a better idea altogether. So let's see how this one works. So we'll plug the mic into this one. I think about one in every 50 videos I make, I have to swap the set halfway through. Right, so we're going to transmit, and let's see. Yeah, there we go. Straight away 3 watts. That's what we'll want. So I will just check we've got the VCO somewhere near. We're on channel 1, and let's just have a look. So I want that to be somewhere quite low. So there's receive, there's transmit. I'll just pop it to channel 40. Want to be somewhere around about just under 4 volts, I would think. Yeah, it's about there. So that's fine. So what's this power supply running at? So the other one was 12.98. About more where you'd expect it. Okay. So we'll go through this one. So that is just short of 3 watts. We'll turn the power preset to full. Go on to the other scale. That now gives us 3.2 watts. We'll just go through the alignment. Three and a half watts. We are doing well. 3.6-ish. So I'll just go backwards and forwards on this, and let's see what we can do. We're at 3.6. Just see whether we can coax another something out of it. Okay, so it's now warm, and it's like 3.95 or something like. I've got the. Sorry about this. I'm tuning it up, and I've got the camera on the wrong meter. So we're going to be putting a monitor on this bench because I just can't see the LCD monitor where I used to have the CRT monitor for the previous mixer. It's annoying to replace really high quality equipment with Billy No Mates stuff just because YouTube compressed what was there before. So as you can see, there's the 4 watt scale. If I put it on the 3 watt scale, we've got whacking over the full scale deflection. There's 5, there's 4. It's already warm, so it's about 3.95. So we'll just put that back where it was, and we'll put the radio on frequency, which should be 27.205. 27. Do you know what I've gone and done? I've just gone and tuned the whole radio up on channel 40. Okay, start again. At least it won't be far out. That's 4 watts. 4.1 watts. So we can now actually turn the power down a fraction. I don't like them being thrashed. There we are, spot on the 4. So I will now just check that on channel 40 we've got something like, yeah, 3.95. Channel 1 we actually have no VCO log. So that's interesting. We don't get a VCO log till channel 10. I wouldn't expect that. I mean, I did check it. So let's see where that is. Apart from being in the cold, I just dragged it out of the boot of the car. So the test point just there. So we'll just go back down to, that was channel 10. Go back to channel 1. I'd expect 1.7 to be a voltage it would lock at. We'll just turn it to 2. And then we'll just check channel 40. Don't have transmit on channel 1, so we'll just check the alignment of the first coil again. In fact, I think we'll put the spectrum analyzer on, just see where the signal is. I'll just have that loosely dangling inside as a as a pickup point for the spectrum analyzer. So we'll just pause the video and put that camera on the spectrum analyzer. There's definitely nothing there. Interesting. I'll just put it on to channel 10 again, which did work. Channel 20, that's beautiful there, just slightly off frequency. I'll do that later, but it's neither here nor there. And then we'll just go down the channels again. Let's go to 12. Yes, it's not it ain't right. So let's see what isn't right. Is it this one? Yes, it is. So let's try this one again. We'll go to channel 40. It's transmitting now on channel 40 fine. So now we'll compensate for having dropped that off by increasing the power there. So we're transmitting fine on channel 40, it's transmitting fine on channel 1, and it's transmitting fine on channel 20. And we're down to about 3.9 watts. So it doesn't like being thrashed. So if it doesn't want to be thrashed, we won't make it. Right, pause that and change the camera. So on channel 20 we should be on 27205, and I said it was just slightly low. It should be should be upper fraction, so using the little trimmer capacitor there, can we bring it up? Amazing, I've gone in the right direction. 27205, 499. I'll just take it that fraction because they do drop with age. That'll do me nicely. The next thing we'll look at is deviation. So we'll just reset the test equipment because we're on CPT, when normally we're on UK channels. Wallow, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wallow. I think we're set. We'll just move the camera across to that. So 2.2 we want, absolute maximum 2.5. Let's see where it is. Wallow, very low at 1.5. So we'll just set that. I can't remember which the preset is for it. Could be that one. It is, it's RV7. Wallow. 1 2, testing 1 2, wallow, 1 2. It's still pretty insensitive. It's not a mic gain on this, is there? No. Okay, we'll move it up a bit. tell you what, it must have been really, really quiet. Wallow. That's it, that's where we want it. Absolute maximum peak of 2.5 and normally 2.2-ish. It has a mic compression switch on the front. We'll just check that. Wallow, 1, 2, 1, 2. Excellent. So when we press transmit, what does the meter say? Mind you, it'd be handy if you could see it. Wrong camera. It should be centre of the red zone, regardless of what power it really does, and it is the centre of the red zone. But I would like to know which preset it is. I think it's one of those two at the back. Let's go for the one at the left. Yeah, it's that one. So it is RV1. So chances are RV2 is the S meter. So that's that done. It also has a low power facility, so I'll switch low power. Let's just see what that is. And the low power is 2.7 watts. I don't expect for a moment that's adjustable. There'll be a preset fixed resistor which makes it do that. Out of interest, I'm just going to make sure it locks on channel 40 and channel 1 on low power. There's channel 1, it's locked, and there's channel 40, it's locked. So that's good news that that transmitter is now set up right, and that's called step tuned. It's not always peak. I know on the Pi radios it was you tuned down for maximum, not tuned up for maximum, you tuned the coils down for maximum. That's taking me years back to AM business radios on VHF high band. That would be 160 odd megs, and they were kind of 10 watt business radios, and they did work very well as long as you tuned them right. You had a 60 watt PA to generate 10 watts, and you know that's how you get reliability and a bit of SWR proof. So we've done the transmit, so let's have a look at how receive's performing. So we'll put the signal generator onto receive. It's spot on frequency, and we will connect our test equipment to the extension speaker socket on the back. And it's lucky it's got it, because this downward facing speaker is a bit dodgy to me. We'll switch on the oscilloscope, and I think we can turn off the spectrum analyzer now. There we go. That's a fan not running if we have that off. So we'll start, whoops, wrong one again. We'll start with the detector. So I'm going to put S9 signal on. There we go. And we want to just check that that detector is at maximum. So the detector coil is going to be there. That's the IF chip. So that's what one would expect. Yeah, and it's got to be as perfect a sine wave as possible. As you saw there, when it was off tune, it moved to the left or to the right. It's centre, so it's a quality thing. Otherwise, that's going to be distorted. So basically, that was spot on. While we're on S9, we may as well see where the S meter reads, and it reads plus 30. So we'll rectify that. That'll be the preset there. So there we are, bang on the 9. And out of interest, what does the DX button do? It attenuates it to S5, okay? So instead of having an RF gain. So that's the preset there. Just move the radio so you can actually see it. So that is the meter, and the number of that preset is RV2. The one to the left was the meter preset for transmit. Okay, so let's see if we can tune the front end if it needs it. The squelch has come in, so I'll just turn the squelch down. That's 0.3 of a microvolt you're listening to, and we'll move the camera onto there. So we need to have about 4 decibels on this cyanide meter for it to be tunable. Nearly did it with the wrong tool. A little bit gain there. And these will have to be, yeah, we'll have to put a better signal on. We put about 10 decibels on, and I'm going to zoom out so you can see both the meter and the oscilloscope, because this is one of these ones where we've got to do best quality. So it's a matter of looking between the 2 meters. Or the meter in the oscilloscope. Did I just inadvertently do that? I think I did. I'll just check that again. There we go. So that just leaves us with the squelch. So I'll tell you what, we'll set that to 100 microvolts and we'll put the squelch to full. I'll now put it to 30 microvolts and set the squelch to full. Let's turn that off now. So we need to adjust that, which will be the preset RV3 there. I want the squelch to come in. There we go, the squelch has come in. And moving the signal down to 100 microvolts, it opens, which is what I want. So now we'll check at the opposite end. I'm going to switch the signal generator to standby, and I've parked it at 0.3 of a microvolt, and we will turn the squelch down to threshold. There's threshold, signal generator on. It's just on the verge there, 0.3. That's fine. Goes off at 0.26, comes on about 0.31 of a microvolt. So that's nice and sensitive. So we'll now look at the sensitivity of the radio. So I'll get my notepad out. So apart from being quite quiet on transmit, this radio more or less was just about working. So Satcom Scan 4000. I said this is going to end up on eBay, but not till we've done a scratchy corner test with Mr. Chippy. Well, Mr. Chippy's gone back home for Christmas, but he'll be back on lockdown at Tango Towers in a couple of days. So we'll get that done, and then on that video we'll put a link to the eBay, and I won't put this on eBay until we've put the video up. I forgot 20 dB, didn't I, there? Talking as I was. So let's have a look. Put the cyanide meter back onto the screen for you. So you can see I'm not lying. So 20 it is a very respectable 0.85. I mean, anything. I mean, some radios don't achieve it. It's only because of noisy transistors. It doesn't mean they're less range. So 0.85. Let's see where we are with 12. We're between scales. We're often between scales on this one. So it says on one scale 0.295, and if we go to the other scale, it's 0.3. So, you know, it's 0.295. You know, that's very good. And now we'll just look at the next one, which is 10. And what we're getting there, 0.27. So that's very respectable. This radio also allegedly has auto scan. Turn the signal generator off. No idea how it works. Oh, it works just like that. And if we put the signal generator back on, hey! So what happens with this one? Oh, it's channel 9 switch. Wow, I'm really thrilled. Okay. So that was just a bit of a retune. I'll take it out to scan. So I'll put the lid on, and we'll have a very quick tune round, and no doubt there'll be no one on. So back to record. One niner, Roger. Oh, I'll just take it off extension speed. Yes, I copy you. Go ahead, breaker. Okay, nobody there. So, the fact that he can't hear us and we can hear him tells us only one thing, doesn't it? That he's part of the burner brigade. That's the annoying thing when you've got interference, isn't it? And you've got scan. So that's another pointless feature. It's the trouble with CPT, we get all this interference. Anyway, it's more or less behaving at the moment, and hopefully when Mr. Chippy comes back in a couple of days, it'll still be clear and we'll be able to do nice tests with it. So there you have it. I finally managed to finish a Satcom Scan 4000 base station, which from about 1987. So the on-the-air video will happen in about 2 or 3 days. Thank you for watching.